Hello, my name is Adam Herring, and in this video, we're going to learn about matter. Specifically, we'll define matter and discuss substances as being either heterogeneous mixtures, homogeneous mixtures, also known as solutions, or as pure substances, including compounds and elements. Then we'll also differentiate between chemical and physical properties and changes. So what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass or occupies space. And depending on the properties of matter, it can be classified as a homogeneous mixture, a heterogeneous mixture, or a compound or an element. One way that we can go through that classification is by asking, first of all, is it heterogeneous or homogeneous? If it's homogeneous, we can then further subdivide it into being a homogeneous mixture, also known as a solution, or a pure substance. Then within pure substances, we can also look at compounds, which is a chemical combination of elements, or classify them as elements. Now, we'll delve into each of these classifications in just a moment, but that's how we might go through and identify matter as being one classification or another. We can also describe matter as having physical and chemical properties. Physical properties are characteristics that describe matter that are independent of what's happening. So the color of an object, or its height, or its mass are different physical properties. Density is a physical property. However, chemical properties are characteristics that describe how matter changes. So this might be the flammability or reactivity of a substance. All right, let's talk now more about these different classifications of matter. Let's first look at elements and compounds. Elements are found on the periodic table of the elements. There are 118 known to date, and there are thousands, literally thousands of different types of compounds. Two of those compounds we can find here on the right. These include ammonium nitrate, which is used as a fertilizer in agricultural applications, and acetyl salicylic acid, also known as aspirin. You can see on the right, we have, they are different sizes, they're different shapes, as are elements. And so you don't necessarily know just by looking at a substance, is it a compound or an element, but you must know what it's made up of. Compounds, such as ammonium nitrate and acetyl salicylic acid, are made up of different types of elements, whereas an element is simply one specific type. So hydrogen or helium or lithium or copper, those elements cannot be broken down into other identifiable types of elements, whereas compounds can be broken down. Ammonium nitrate, for example, is made up of nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen. Acetyl salicylic acid is made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Mixtures are combinations of elements and or compounds. For example, a homogeneous mixture, also known as a solution, could be a saline solution. A saline solution consists of sodium chloride in water. And so we have two distinct substances, sodium chloride and water, that have been combined together, and they retain the properties of that solution. They've now become one. Whereas a heterogeneous mixture, this could be soil, for example. Within soil, you have rocks, you have fertilizer, you have dirt, you might even have different creatures. And each of these different substances retains its own identity. You could pick out the different aspects of soil and separate them from each other. However, within a solution, a homogeneous mixture, like saline, you can't separate the different components from each other. It's perfectly mixed throughout. Let's now talk about chemical and physical reactions. A chemical reaction is one that changes the identity of the substance. whereas physical reactions change the state or the phase of matter. For example, a chemical reaction could be lighting something on fire. In the case here, we see wood that's being lit on fire. The compounds in the wood consist of sugar, cellulose, there's a variety of minerals, and those are getting converted into carbon dioxide and water. A physical reaction is seen when ice melts. We see here we've got some polar ice that is changing between ice and liquid forms, and so that is a physical change. The identity of the substance, water, remains the same, but its state of matter is different. So I have a challenge for you. I'd like for you to think of different examples of elements, compounds, solutions, and mixtures within various applications, perhaps agriculture, environmental science, medicine, or other areas of interest. As you do that, you'll see that they are all around us in the world, and understanding how to classify them can be important in these different applications. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.